of a pin. But at the end of the day, Israel is a very dangerous, aggressive force in the Middle East, and it has been for a long time. And that is just like a chunk of rock. That is just staying there like that. And all these media pundits and the mainstream of British news can try and talk themselves into and out of a plastic bag about it. But at the end of the day, we all know what the facts are here. Israel has been the aggressor in this conflict, as it was the aggressor, and it still is the aggressor in Gaza. It's an extremely dangerous situation, not just for Iran, although obviously they're on the receiving end of that at the moment, and should have our most sympathies, but for Israel as well, the wider Middle East, and all of our lives. Our lives will be made worse in this country by the consequences of what is happening here. I can only hope that there are negotiations that can try and tamp this down. But the White House is looking at the best very, very incompetent at handling this. I think that Donald Trump appears to have jumped on these attacks rhetorically, kind of claiming, I knew everything, I am God, and all these kind of things. I think probably he was a bit out of the loop and a bit clueless as to what to do. And one of the things that's so unfortunate about it is that, of course, there were negotiations literally that were planned for, yesterday? 2 days ago? Sunday. And they could well have broken through. So this pivot into violence is an absolute disaster. And it's similar to the absolute disaster that has befallen Gaza earlier this year, where there was a ceasefire for a few weeks and maybe a possibility of things improving. And similarly, a similar pivot towards utter disaster has happened over Russia and Ukraine as well, because earlier this year when Trump came in, he began peace negotiations. All of these things have fallen apart in just a matter of a few weeks or 2 or 3 months. It's a very concerning and upsetting and angering time, very frustrating time. And I just hope that all we can do is just keep putting out the obvious things to say what we need to do. And we need a sensible, rational Western policy which will prevent Israel, which is an ethno-nationalist state, from continuing to behave so barbarically. You can't say, it's ridiculous to say that Israel has done the wrong thing in Gaza, become a genocidal state, but then, probably they did the right thing in over Iran. But that's the state of British media.
And contrast